You suck, Nick. You suck, Nick.
Hey guys, how are you? Let's get the microphone adjusted properly. Welcome to Ansuini Live for April 15th, 2021. Today we are not joined by anybody. I don't know why I was starting a podcast intro there. Sounds like we are all here. Excited to see Randy in the chat. It's been a while, my friend. For those of you who don't know, Randy is my co-host on this little podcast that I do every once in a while, called the Talos of EV and Tech Podcasts. Also, the Randy and Nick Show, which y'all should definitely tune into. I think we had a new episode drop a couple weeks ago. Definitely a pretty exciting listen if you haven't listened to that already. Am I self-plugging myself? Yes, I probably am, objectively, but is it a bad thing? I don't think so. Not when it's on my show. Hey guys, excited to see you. Hello, hello, hello. First off, we gotta give a shout out to Julian, who, this person has been the first person to comment for probably like 2 months in a row now. You are on it with the notification squad. You are just on it. Let me mute my computer here. Sorry about that. Randy is texting me at the moment, making a ding ding bazing. But Julian, you are the first person to comment, and that is very good. Because the number one rule of Ansuini Live is you have to interact to be able to watch. This is not a passive show. You have to interact. You have to type. You have to answer the question of the week. You have to have fun. This is a time where we get to hang out together for about an hour every week and just enjoy life together, get to know each other a little bit better, just have a jolly old time. So Alpha was second in the chat, and he was kind of bummed that he missed it by just a little bit. Julian was a little bit quicker. Nathan Matthews is here. Hello, Nathan. Excited to see you. Simon, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I know it got a little quiet there for a moment. I was actually on the phone with the FAA while I started the call. I was on hold for forever. And then like a minute before we went live, the agent finally was supposed to go live. The agent picked up the phone. So I went ahead and redid the other intro while I was asking and getting my question answered. So apologize for that little delay there, but we did get off about 2 minutes late, which is not a huge deal. I think we'll be able to make it up on the back end. So appreciate you hanging through the little black spot there. Yep, everyone was waiting for another 3 minutes. Randy is trying to self-plug his album. Oh my goodness, we have just all of the self-plugs going on today. Yes, Randy's new album drops on the 24th of April, if I'm not mistaken. It's very exciting. I've listened to the whole album through with Randy. It sounds amazing. You guys are going to love it. I believe Randy said it might be whitelisted, so I might use some of his music in the new and improved, refreshed Ansuini Live introduction, which may or may not be coming sometime soon, and we'll get more about that a little bit later. But for now, let's all get excited for Randy's new album that is dropping called Dawn, and I am very excited about this album because I have a couple personal connections to it. Number one, obviously the album art, but number two, I've gotten to listen to some of these songs that when they were just getting produced, I believe I don't remember what it's called. It used to be called Throne, but Randy showed that song to me in its really, really early state, probably like back in 2018 or 2019. I remember really liking it. So it's exciting to see Randy be able to finally get all of his music backlog together and into an album for all of us to enjoy. And it's fitting as he departs his home and off to a new adventure, which I'm pretty sure he's starting tomorrow. So props to Randy for getting out on an adventure. All right. You're joined by us. Your show, you do whatever you want as long as it follows YouTube's rules. Well, sometimes I do that. Why Mike says, I'm driving. Hello, Why Mike. Good seeing you. It's been a long time no talk. Like since this morning, 6 hours ago. Good to see you in the chat, man. Apparently we're doing a show tomorrow morning. Just figured that out. So also I'll see you, Why Mike, tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. your time. Randy says, "BR back. I'm at Walmart buying light bulbs. Signal is not the best." Oh, Randy left us. He didn't even hear that beautiful monologue of exactly what I said there. That's sad. Why Mike? Exactly. Simon asks, why Mike? I don't know. Why Mike? I don't know. Why Mike? Why? Why Mike? Why? Why Mike? Why Mike? Mic drop. Why? Anyway. Yes, Randy says it will be whitelisted. Awesome. Yep, but he'll block me exactly. So I'm pretty sure as soon as I use his music, he's just gonna go ahead and block me. Oh, hey, Nathan Matthews is in the chat. I think I already said hello to you. I think you already joined. Let's see. Oh, it looks like we're back. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what's happening. My internet is just fine. I mean, it's not the world's best internet, but I'm still getting 20 up and 20 down the entire time. But it looks like OBS just got disconnected and it tried to reconnect. Sorry about that. We'll blame it on the M1 because the M1's terrible and it sucks and no one should buy it because it's a terrible computer that has no compatibility. Looks like I'm back online. Yeah, that was weird. Sorry about that. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, stream was bugging out. I thought it was me at Walmart. No, it was definitely just me. Working now. Hi, I see you. We're back. All right, awesome. Okay, so now that we have a total of 7 people in the chat, hello, my 7 favorite friends. We need to do the question of the week. Y'all have been, hopefully been good this week. We've had, I believe, we had a really short stream last week. And that was because I was so busy with Project Cube 1, I didn't have time to let my camera recharge before the stream. So my stream ended, I believe, like 13 minutes in or something crazy like that. So I just barely even was streaming last week. So we're excited to be here this entire day. Today, I wanted to talk about technology and see what your guys' favorite non-Apple tech product is. Seeing that you guys are most likely all Apple sheep, seeing how that's probably where most of you know me from, the Talos of Tech podcast. I know we're all probably big fans of Apple sheep, but what's your favorite piece of technology outside of Apple? I had a really good discussion with a couple different people about smart home accessories and how that has been having problems with people being able to connect them. Like Drew's app got deleted from the App Store and stuff like that. So what's your favorite piece of technology that is not Apple? I think this is going to be a great discussion here. I know it's going to be more tech related, but that's fine. We can talk about whatever we want here on the Ansuini Live as long as we're following the number one rule of Ansuini Live, which is having people talk. So let's see. It looks like my participants just dropped to 0. Is anyone still here? I don't know. That's kind of weird that my thingy just dropped to 0. It normally does not do that. Let me make sure there's at least someone here. Well, it says there are 3 people watching. Okay, cool. We can continue with 3. So Simon said, Randy joins a stream and the stream bugs out. Someone's cursed. Yes, Randy is the reason why the stream doesn't work, because Randy's technology problems follow him around on the internet, and just because he can't stream doesn't mean that I can stream either. So it kind of messes up all of my streaming connections as well, which is not ideal. Like, come on, Randy, why are you doing this to me? You're just a terrible human. All right, so Simon says, does technology that I don't own count? Yes, of course. Technology that you don't own can count. But also, maybe we make this a 2-pronged question. Your favorite technology, not like the one that you want the most, but more of like a useful piece of technology that you found a good use case in your life for. It could be one that you own or one that you really want really bad, but just a piece of technology that maybe isn't the flashiest piece, but something that you think will definitely provide good use case and fulfillment for you. So Randy says that my favorite non-Apple tech item is my Sony. All my musical gear, amp, preamp, etc. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I think your Sony is pretty good, Randy, but I think it was a little bit better as your Model 3. I was surprised you didn't say that because Mike also said his Model Y is electric vehicle. So yeah, I think that y'all have everything beat there. Those are very useful pieces of technology. But yeah, I like the idea with where you're going, Randy, with a consumer product. I definitely love my camera as well. iPad, Mac Mini, all that stuff is fun, but I wouldn't be possible to do the kind of content that I do without my camera, and I really do love me some Sony mirrorless cameras. Those are definitely the most fun thing. Randy is mad at Simon. Oh no! Because Simon said that Randy's cursed, so I guess that's only fair. Tesla or camera, says Julian. I felt like saying Tesla was too obvious. I know, it kind of is. That's not really what I was getting at. Big piece of technology. I'm just thinking smaller scale consumer tech. But yeah, I don't know. As far as what I would say to that, obviously my camera is amazing. I'm not saying just have one thing. You can have many favorite pieces of technology that are not Apple products, because Lord knows I have many favorite Apple products. As far as useful tools for me, my camera is definitely one of the most useful tools for my work. But I also am pretty thrilled and really happy to get back in the drone game. For those of you who remember, got a drone in August of last year, and messed around with it for a couple months, and sent it off to Randy for him to take advantage of the beautiful drone. And it is now springtime, and it is beautiful around where I live, and I was really wanting to get that aerial perspective again. And so I'd been doing a lot of research on what drone I might get. Obviously, DJI is one of the forerunner brands for droning. And they have quite a few different options as far as, actual cinema drones that carry like actual camera payloads with actual interchangeable lenses, that do like actual full super 35 millimeter pictures. And that's a little overkill for me, to be honest, at the moment. Maybe at some point I'll get that. But I was really looking for something that was new. I've had a Mavic Mini for a little while, and so I kind of knew how that all worked, and I knew the limitations of the Mavic Mini. If you guys watch the intro of this again after the show, you'll notice the video is kind of crunchy because it was like pre-dawn and it was pretty dark. And so the ISO had to be bumped up way high because the camera on the DJI Mavic Mini just isn't up to snuff. The previous generation that I had was 2.7K sensor, so basically just wanted to do 1080. So I knew whatever I was going to do this time around, I wanted to be 4K because, 4K is pretty important, being able to punch in, but it had to be 4K at 60 as well. And so that kind of limited the number of DJI drones that I was looking at. And I was also looking for something that was a new experience. I've dinked around with the cinema drones. I know what kind of shots you can get, and they're all very beautiful. But at the end of the day, if I want to add more energy to a drone shot, there really isn't a possibility with any of the Mavic series or the Air series or even the Pro series being able to add a lot of energy to the shot. So what I did, I went ahead and picked up the DJI FPV drone, which is that new drone that you've seen all of the tech reviewers talk about. I believe a month ago they launched it. It's the one that Marquez and iJustine all did their videos about. It's basically the very first FPV drone that's like consumer available. For those of you who don't know, FPV stands for first person view. And that means that you wear a set of goggles that makes you feel like you're flying an airplane. And so you are right in the driver's seat of that drone, and you're getting a first-person view, which is a much different way to fly. Like it's very sporty. And so anyway, so I decided I was going to get this FPV drone. I know that it's a 4K sensor, so if I want to do some more cinematic stuff with it, I can punch in and stabilize the footage a little bit. Maybe get that third axis of gimbal stabilization on there in post. So I knew this was going to be a capable enough tool for what I wanted it to do. And what I wanted it to do was be able to do cinematography work, but also have a little bit of fun and add some energy to shots. So I'm pretty excited about this. Basically, I was looking online and I could not find one that was available to ship. They're all stuck at the Suez Canal or something. And so they were all like 2 weeks out. And so I went to my local camera store like 2 or 3 days ago, and they had one. And they had a used one. So what happened, someone bought it and then returned it to this little camera store. And so they're selling the $1,200 drone, I think it was $1,300 drone, $1,299 regularly, for $800, $799. And so I was like, yes, please. So I picked up this DJI FPV for a screaming deal. I was super excited about that. So we got a new drone in the house. I've been digging around with it yesterday and today, and let me tell you, this thing is way too fast. It is it does 0 to 60 in 0 to 100 miles an hour in 2 seconds vertical, and it has a top speed of 100 miles an hour. Now I haven't unlocked the 100 mile an hour mode because you have to have a little bit of experience built up with it before it unlocks. So I've been doing I believe the top speed is 60 miles an hour. And it's kind of cool to be able to go to a highway and keep pace with vehicles traveling down a highway and even outrun them a little bit. And it's just so sporty and performancey. It's just a whole different dimension of droning. So I've heard a lot of people say that, and so I wanted to share that. Like that's been my exciting thing this week. Well, I guess if you count Sunday morning, early in the morning when I finally finished up Cube 1's initial integration, that was probably the most exciting moment of this week. So I had two really exciting moments this week, the FPV and then Cube 1 project, which y'all will hear about pretty soon. Let's give a little update on Cube 1. I've noticed that we do have a couple chats I can get to here. But Cube 1 is finished as far as the actual production. Just today, I finished up the final B-roll shots that I needed. The script is written, all that fun stuff. So now I just have to put it all together in Final Cut and splice it all together. You guys will, I know I said you guys would hear about it on Tuesday and then maybe on Wednesday, and we're now on Thursday and it's still not done. So that is still in the works. I have the project that I'm looking at right now. You guys are going to love it, I promise. It's going to be exciting. So it'll come out when it's done. It's coming out soon though. I have been putting a significant amount of time towards it, so it will be done shortly. I'd like to say tomorrow, but there's a very good chance it could be done on Saturday as well. So anyway, it's not just going to be one video. I'll leave that there. There are multiple videos coming out. All right, let's get to the chats because I have monologued for like, oh my goodness, like 10 minutes here. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, that was my favorite piece of technology. That's how we got there. Simon said, favorite piece of tech I own is my music gear as well. You can make professional sounding music with just a small laptop and headphones. And add to that my guitar, and best thing I've purchased in my life. Yes, I would totally agree with you. I am not super into music. If any of you saw the skit that Randy and I did, I don't know too much about music, but it's a very interesting art, and I love good music, and I really want to get to learn more about it, but unfortunately I just don't have the patience for it. And I can't visualize it. And anyway, I need to have a few more sit downs with Randy to figure out exactly what snapping everything to the grid is and all that fun stuff. Because I'm definitely a newbie, but I can definitely see, Simon, why you'd say a laptop and a guitar and a microphone and a pair of headphones is all you need to make some really good music, because that is so true, especially with Logic. Like, you get the little keys on your keyboard and you can play any instrument. It's kind of crazy how that works. Nathan said, my favorite tech outside of Apple that I use is the Keychron K4 mechanical keyboard with brown switches, and I wished I owned it. What I wish I owned. Sorry, I butchered that sentence. And what I wish I owned is coincidentally a Sony mirrorless camera on an ancient Nikon right now. Okay. Well, I would highly recommend Sony mirrorless cameras. They are some amazing systems. I know Canon and Nikon all say that they have good systems, and I know there are believers in both camps. I myself am a Sony guy. I used to be a Nikon guy. I used to be an iPhone guy, but I've settled into Sony, and I do not see myself leaving for a good little while, because Sony seems to be at the pinnacle of technology and camera gear. They have very good quality sensors at pretty reasonable prices. And Nathan, if you wanted to get in on the Sony game, there are a lot of cheap options out there. Used Sonys are really still good. If you look at something as old as the A5100, it's actually a camera that I've been eyeing as a second B-roll camera, which I haven't pulled the trigger on, but you can find those used for about $250 to like $350 on eBay or on Swappa if you keep looking for them. So definitely not as expensive as you might think, but still not totally dirt cheap. It's not like picking up a knockoff GoPro for $19, but you can get really good pictures out of even a D5100. So definitely look into that, Nathan. I would fully support any Sony mirrorless, but definitely they have some fun stuff. All right, Simon said, I'd say 4K in a drone is important since you're recording mostly landscapes, and that has a lot of detail. You were very right, Simon. So what I would say about that is the DJI FPV has a field of view of, I believe, 150 degrees, which is a really wide view. So wide, in fact, that if you're not careful, not if you're not careful, just if you're flying it like regularly, you'll see about a half an inch worth of blades on each side of the frame because it is such a wide angle. And actually, I do prefer that because when you're in the moment, when you're flying it, you have a nice wide field of view, so you don't have to feel like you need to pan the drone around much to see what you're doing, because everything is just in view. You can literally see where your blades are, so you can know exactly how much space you have between trees and stuff. It's pretty nice. But since it's 4K at 60, I feel very comfortable punching in even just a little bit, just to crop out the blades. And then I've even found, I've done a little bit of tests in post-production here. Since the FPV only has a 1-axis gimbal instead of a 3-axis gimbal, anytime you tilt, instead of like a cinema drone would compensate for the drone tilting by tilting the camera to be level with the horizon. The FPV drone doesn't, and so the whole frame like twists, and it looks more sporty. It feels a lot more engaging when you're flying. But it's definitely not a cinematic look. It can be if you use it right, but I found actually, since it's a 4K sensor, I can punch in and then rotate the frame to match the horizon fairly well, and it looks pretty good still. It basically, by the time I punch in, it's about 1080p. So yeah, 4K is definitely important because I'm able to have so much more freedom. And I'll tell you, this camera's really nice. Like, every frame is perfectly exposed and perfectly sharp. I was really surprised coming from the Mavic Mini. The Mavic Mini, everything just felt crunchy and dim. And this FPV, everything feels in focus, and I think it has an HDR 4K 60 HDR sensor in it. I'm not sure about the HDR, but it looks like HDR. I can point it into the sunset and still have blue sky, which is pretty important. Okie dokie. Simon said, I saw Marquez's video and I know I couldn't have that goggle on my face. Oh, come on. Get the plugs out. Simon, the goggles aren't that bad, are they? I mean, I do kind of look like a bug right now, but don't I always look like a bug? Yeah. Definitely not the most stylish look. I wouldn't go walking around town with those on, but they are really good. They have a pretty long range, and it's nice, very crisp video. I'm very impressed with the goggles. I know it doesn't quite look fun. Randy said, use that drone for Cube One. I really want to. Honestly, I was wondering how many, if I could get a shot that like went out the window or something like that with Cube One and frame. So Randy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if I can, but I did think about it for a little while today. Alpha said, missed it. Just got back from dinner. What did I miss? You missed the question of the day. The question of the day, as Nathan said, is your favorite non-Apple tech product. And it doesn't have to be a big ticket item like a Tesla. I'm talking about small, useful pieces of technology that you found bring a lot of value to your life. Simon said Nick is using Elon time with Cube One. Exactly, Simon. I am using Elon time with Cube One. I have all my engineers working nonstop 24/7 on Cube One. And they keep telling me that it's going to take like 4 or 5 more months, and I keep telling them to have it done by tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be done on Saturday. That's my goal. I'm basically doing Elon time here. Randy says, or keep writing in key when writing music. I cannot keep in key when writing music, Randy, because I don't know what a key is. I have a bunch of keys that unlock different doors, but I don't have any keys for Logic. I don't have that. Alpha says non-Apple. Samsung Galaxy Note series, CNC machines and wireless stack. Ooh, CNC machines. Alpha, I would totally agree with you. I really want a CNC machine one day. Whenever I am rich and have a huge mansion, I want in my basement a CNC machine because those things are pretty cool. You like put in a 3D model and it can carve it out of wood, or I guess computer numerically controlled, router it out of a board or out of a piece of metal. You can do a lot of things with a CNC machine. So I would highly recommend getting a CNC machine at some point. Simon says, nah, if it doesn't keep in key, call it Prague and move on. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. Alpha says, I'll continue to use iPhone cameras even if I could afford a $100 red camera, a 100 red camera. I think your opinion might change, Alpha. There's a lot of things that iPhone cameras can't do. And if you're not going to create that kind of content, there's no need to have a red camera. Like if you're just going to do a vlog or whatever, you don't need a red camera. But what I found is studio stuff, especially with, actual studio lights and having like backgrounds and stuff. I really appreciate having my Sony, and it's not to say that I couldn't do it without my Sony. I know if push came to shove, I could totally do a show without my Sony. Randy's done it just a couple weeks ago. He had problems with his Sony, so I think there's definitely a place for iPhone cameras, and they're great as kind of general all-purpose cameras. But if you want to do specific things, like say do tech videos or something, like talking face YouTube style, like. This lighting would not look good with an iPhone camera. I guarantee you that, because the iPhone is going to try to keep everything in focus and in in frame well, and really all we need right now is my face, since I've tuned my Sony to be focused right on my face and it doesn't move. I don't have a autofocus on, so it doesn't wiggle the focus all the time. Anyway, yeah, but good point. Also, Starlink, yes, actually, that is the piece of tech I actually want badly. Good point, Alpha. Forget everything that I said. I want Starlink. Elon, please give me Starlink. I really need it. Ryan, welcome, Ryan. You made it. Excited to see you, Ryan. Glad you could join us. Hopefully, you're still here. I know I'm reading your message a little bit late here, but good to see you, man. Hopefully, you're doing well, and hopefully, all is having shiny rainbows in your direction. I guess I don't know what I'm saying. This is the Ansuini live show. Don't expect this to be well prepared. Ryan says, probably can't stay too long, gotta get food, but I thought I'd just come say hi. Well, hello, go get some food, man. Fill up that stomach of yours. You gotta keep on the energy train, because I know you're in college and have lots of things going on. You gotta stay energized, my friend. Julian said another tech product is Neuralink. Ooh, you want Neuralink? I would have to say I do not want Neuralink. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm just not comfortable with sticking a microchip in my head. Maybe at some point I will be, but I don't think right now with what I'm looking at. It looks cool. Don't get me wrong. Seeing the monkey play Pong is kind of fun, but I don't think I'd want that in my head. So I'm excited, Julian, that you want Neuralink, and hopefully you can make good use of that whenever it's available. Ryan says Nintendo Switch is probably my favorite tech thing. Absolutely adore the thing. Wow. Well, Mr. Nintendo Switch player over there. All right, Mr. Gamer Master Race person. I know almost nothing about games. Actually, the most I know about the Nintendo Switch is from Randy's little brother, Chase. He was showing me his Nintendo Switch, and I was like, oh, I don't really understand. So you like take it apart. It has like these little controllers, but you can turn the controllers one way and give one to your friend. Anyway, it's like, wow, this is kind of confusing, but I'm glad you like your Switch, and hopefully you enjoy playing those games. Why Mike says I'd rather have a CNC over a 3D printer, but those are too expensive and require a lot of care. That is very true, Why Mike. The only CNC machines I've ever used are ones that are in schools. My grandfather, if you guys saw that Randy Plack video, my grandfather was a woodshop teacher for many, many, many years, and he still has a lot of friends, and he has access to a lot of wood shops in his area, and a lot of those wood shops do have CNC machines, and they maintain them and whatever, so it's pretty easy for me to just go in there with a file on a thumb drive and have the machine spit it out pretty quickly. So yeah, I would not want to operate one of those, because you're very finicky. They're very finicky. If they lose center, then all of your stuff is going to be off just a little bit. And yeah, they're very expensive machines, like $10,000 to $20,000 for a good one. And that's just for the machine, not the systems and stuff. Alpha says I operate CNC machines at my other job. Well, that's pretty cool, Alpha. Tell us more about that. I'm very curious about that. Tailosive Tech is in the chat. Well, hello, Drew. Welcome. iPhones really have killed off the point. iPhones have really killed off the point in shoot market, but the high bokeh studio quality cameras still have a purpose. That is very true, Drew. Also, hello. If you're going to watch this, Drew, you have to participate. I appreciate you participating, but you're going to get banned from this channel permanently if you don't participate. That's not my rules. That's the Ansuini Live rules. Sorry, Drew. Appreciate you participating, though. Yeah, definitely point and shoots. Anything you would use a point and shoot for. The iPhone has anything that you need, but yeah, anything for any kind of production. If you want to stage any kind of production, whether that's a small scale YouTube video where Drew sits in front of his desk and talks for a few minutes, or if it's a podcast, or if it's Cube One, and you want to have a little bit more control over how stuff looks, and you want to get into that, yeah, that is where real cameras do shine. Yes, why, Mike? That is how you spell bokeh, because us photographers cannot be simple. Simon said, I record videos with my iPhone and they look great, not professional, but for small creators who can't spend the money on a dedicated camera is awesome, and video isn't the most important, but audio. And that is very true. I would agree with everything you said there, except for the audio. I could care less about audio most days, and that's why the Tailosive Tech podcast audio sucked for a solid 2 years before we got Randy to fix the audio every week. But now he taught me how to fix the audio, so now I can fix the audio. But I still don't understand why people think audio is so important. I'm much more of a visual guy with the camera setup. So Yeah, as far as using an iPhone, when you're just getting started, of course. Like, for how many months did we do the tech podcast? I mean, we did the tech podcast for years without a camera even. We just did an audio show. And then about a year and some change ago, we decided to do video. And at that point, it was really just the FaceTime camera on an iPad. And then we upgraded to iPhones for about 6 months. And then I decided to dive in and use my Sony, which, it's not necessary. Like, if I have a whole theory, and I need to get back on the Nick Picks channel. I've been so busy with other projects, but I have a whole Nick Picks series that I want to put out that will talk about what's most important in content creation, because I think a lot of people have it wrong. They think the most important thing is video quality or audio quality or lighting or backgrounds, and that's not the case. The most important thing when you're creating content on the internet, especially when you're getting started, is the content itself. If it's filmed with a potato camera, but it's still engaging content with engaging opinions and an engaging setup, and it has a good hook and a good story, and you're a passionate person about whatever you're talking about, you don't really need all of the other production around it. So that's my 2 cents there. I totally agree. iPhones are great for people who get started, and even for some stuff that I do today. Like, I recorded a bunch of the B-roll for Cube One on an iPhone because it's just more convenient. It's a lot easier. But what other camera has AirDrop? This is very true. Actually, my Sony has a version of AirDrop. It's not quite as convenient, but it works about the same. Basically, I scan a QR code with my phone, and it opens the app on my phone, and the QR code then links the camera and the iPhone over Wi-Fi, and it transfers photos just about as fast as AirDrop, although it's not quite as convenient as AirDrop. I do like that feature. I don't want it, but it sounds interesting. Yeah. Neuralink, I believe that's what you're talking about here. Neuralink, yeah, definitely sounds interesting. I'm very curious to see what they can do with, like, paralysis patients and stuff who, like, they can't move their arms. Like, this is going to change their life for the better. But yeah, I don't know if I want to. I've seen the internet. I don't know if I want to give it unfettered access to my brain. Why Mike? I always say my Wyke. You're not a Wyke, and you're not you're Why Mike. Why Mike says, I think Brian Greene's interview with Joe Rogan frames the Neuralink pretty well on how humanity and tech will develop. I'll have to watch that. I believe you're talking about Joe Rogan there. Let me go ahead and open that up in another tab here so that I don't lose that. Copy, tab, paste. And I will watch that later, Mr. Mike. Thank you. Alpha says, I prefer Nintendo over Wii Switch. That is good to hear. Let's see. Neuralink is a tech I'm very interested in, but keeping my interest from a distance. Yes, that is very good. Keep from a distance until they prove that it's, like, safe and isn't going to make people go mad or change their minds. Hey DJ, welcome. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you had a good work day and you're not too sunburned, and hopefully you had a good day. Excited to have you here, DJ. The question of the week, which you're contractually obligated to answer if you want to watch this live stream, because the Ansuini live stream is all about participation. What is your favorite piece of consumer technology that is not Apple related and provides a lot of value to your life? It doesn't have to be a big flashy item like, a big computer or a big fancy gaming rig. Just something that really brings you a lot of value and something that you appreciate that you think might be underappreciated. So tell me about that, DJ, and anyone else who joined in. Drew says, did you know that Dishy McFlatface cost $1,500 to make? I saw that. That's pretty crazy. I'm really glad they're subsidizing it for now, just to make that barrier to entry a little bit lower. But if it comes between the viability of SpaceX and Starlink and the availability of, like, I'd totally rather pay $1,500 to SpaceX for Dishy McFlatface if that's what's going to keep the company alive. But as long as they can keep eking them along, I think it's fine to have it subsidized. So anyway, I'm excited to get mine for $590 something. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's $1,500. I'd probably still pay $1,500 for it because I cannot wait for Starlink. Simon says, I'm making music, so audio is indeed more important to me. Yeah, that's fine. You can be an audio guy. I'm going to be a visual guy. Ryan says, I know my mom has an older reel camera that she says I can basically have. Might grab it when I go home for the summer to try out taking photos. I'm totally excited to see that, man. I know you have, you're quite the artistic guy. So I think you will have a lot of fun with that camera and be able to do a lot of stuff. All right, I'm getting behind on the chat here. So Alpha, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to kind of blow through this. CNC machines I've operated. There are some fancy names that I don't want to butcher on air. The GX is great for prisms and blocks, while the Multius, my favorite, can do so much more, especially with these cylinders. So that's pretty cool. What kind of material are you using, Alpha? Is it metal, wood, or plastic? Ryan said both are important. If I had to pick blurry or scratchy audio, I'd pick having better audio. Okay, well, I think that's where some people come down. I could care less if it was recorded on a tin can in an ocean inside of a tornado, but I prefer video quality. I really do. Jay says, hello, welcome, Jay. Excited to see you. Hopefully you're having a great day. Glad that you could join and say hello for a little bit. Alpha says it's so cool to watch the do their thing. Oh yeah, the CNC machines. Yeah, that's pretty cool how precise they can be and how fast they are. Alonso Trio? I'm probably butchering that. Hi, hello. I'm sorry. Tell me how you pronounce that, and I'll try to pronounce it correctly, and we can continue that. Alpha says I'll DM a video of the Multius, so that's cool. Can't wait to see that. Ryan said, I agree, content is king, but there are many times I wouldn't give a video a chance because it sounds gross. I feel like even starting out, a half decent mic will go a long way. Yeah, that's true. They have like these little Rode. Let's see if I still have mine. I don't, but there's like a little Rode video mic that you just plug into your iPhone via the lightning cable, and it had pretty decent audio. And it wasn't just regular audio. It wasn't like a professional lav mic or a shotgun or anything like that. But I think it popped it up, and I think those were only like $30 or $40. So not too bad to get half decent audio. But yeah, Ryan, that's probably true. Nathan says Nick Pick's channel and Instagram are both my favorite content that you produce. Yeah, I'm happy you said that, Nathan. I need to get back into it. Now we have like spring. I know Nick Pick's kind of fell off the face of the earth a little while ago, and it'll come back at some point. But I was posting a picture a day, which for those of you who don't know, I took like probably between 50 and 100 pictures for every one picture that I post on Nick Picks. And kind of like in the middle of January, I kind of fell off the train, or maybe it was March, but it was like all like gloomy and snowy and like concrete skies for like weeks and weeks and weeks. It just wasn't pretty, and I wasn't feeling inspired to take pictures at the time. So yeah, I let it die. But now that it's springtime and I do have a drone, I'll probably be posting more things coming here shortly. But Q1 is my focus because I would like to get that out this week. It's Jay and Jay is here. Also, look at Nick now streaming to 10 people. Ooh, yeah, I better get my sunglasses on. Woo! I think we're at 8 people right now. Oh well. Simon said, famous boy Ansuini. I don't know about that. If 10 people is the definition of famous, I'd really like to see what your definition of PewDiePie is. Simon said, my favorite tech piece is the fridge. Never take it for granted. Couldn't live without it. This is so true. There are so many pieces of technology like fridges and electricity and stuff that we just take for granted and forget about. But if they didn't exist, we wouldn't exist in a lot of different places. Question of the week, favorite piece of tech? Yes, that is the question of the week. Jay, I'm sorry, that was your response to the question of the week. Favorite piece of tech for me that I like is my Canon camera. Yes, I'm glad that other people are saying cameras too. I know that I found my people, my peeps who are gonna love taking pictures and stuff. That is awesome. Yeah, cameras are so important. Being able to capture all that stuff is life is beautiful. You got to capture it in a beautiful way as well. Hey, Landon made it. Hey, Landon, good to see you. Yes, I did get a DJI FPV. I was thinking about you this morning. I was doing your signature sunrise over a field over woods, looking into the sunrise. I'll have to send it to you. I was definitely thinking about you when I was using it this morning. But yeah, I did. I was going back and forth on some of the different drones. DJI just literally announced their newest drone, which is the Air 2S or R or something like that. Anyway, I was like, oh shoot, I probably should have gotten that one because it has like a 5K sensor. Yeah, the DJI Air 2S. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the FPV. It's a whole lot of fun. That thing is like a sports car. So yeah, definitely would recommend that. Let's see. Alsalno said, I love the convenience of being able to use an HDMI monitor and connect it to a laptop. So I can use one monitor when mobile and school and use two monitors at home to do homework and multitask. Totally agree with you. When I had a MacBook as my primary device instead of I'm using Mac Minis now, when I had a MacBook, I definitely appreciated having like a monitor setup where I could spread out and have multiple screens. Right now, I'm currently using one screen with Mac Mini. I do have 2 or 3 other screens that I could plug into it, but they're just not as convenient. I haven't found a nice workflow as far as mounting things on my desk. I don't like my desk to be cluttered with a bunch of monitors because I want to be able to see the camera. Let's see. Jay says, if software counts, I'd say YouTube, Netflix, because yes. Okay. Well, I don't think software counts as much for our favorite tech product. I was thinking physical things because yes, I'm sure most of people would say YouTube. I would probably also say YouTube. I spend way too much time on YouTube. Please help me, guys. I need help. Simon says, Jay, you can't have Nick in the background. You have to participate and you get a ban. Oh, that's true. You have to be in the foreground. You have to be participating here. DJ says, probably on the edge of consumer products is my Model 3. Oh, yes. So we have Randy, Mike, and DJ all saying that their Teslas are their favorite piece of non-Apple technology. Seeing that DJ was telling me, we did a space podcast the other day, which I think I uploaded that and posted. I need to post that this evening. I need to make a thumbnail. DJ was telling me that he drove a long road trip without his Model 3 the other day, and it was painful. So I can imagine, DJ, you have the proper perspective on being without the full self-driving capabilities of your Model 3. Let's see. Ilon Sotogi. Is that your name? I'm sorry, man. Simon says, I can't wait for the new page. Nick Anselfies? Yes. I might do some dronies, I think is what you're referring to here, having the drone take a selfie of you. I might do that, but you have to be in a really pretty location for that. And I haven't found that one location yet. Let's see. Jay says, new drone. I've been looking at that. Yeah, that FPV drone. It just is so much fun to fly. Like, it feels like I'm flying a sports car. Like, that's what it feels like. The thing goes 95 miles an hour at full speed. And like being able to outpace cars on the highway, it's just kind of weird to think you're flying that fast. And the thing is so loud. You can hear it like 1,000 feet away. It's like, whee! It sounds like out of all of those post-apocalyptic movies where, you know, the government's killing people with drones or whatever, like that's the drone that they use. The thing is like so aggressive. I mean, just look at this thing. This thing like looks like it could eat somebody. It has like, doesn't just have dual blades on each rotor. It has 3 blades on each rotor, and the whole thing is just like aggressively pointed. Like it looks like it wants to fly like this, which it does because it wants to go fast. And yeah, this thing is a little intimidating, to be honest, at first, but you put it in normal mode and it flies just like a regular drone. All right. Ryan says, all right, wish I could stay longer, but the food courts will close soon. Gotta run. All right, Ryan, it was good seeing you. Thanks for stopping by. Excited to have you. I, too, am going to have to go pretty shortly. I got about another 10 minutes or so. But thanks for joining, Ryan. Always good to have you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next week. Plus homework due tonight. Oof. I'm very sorry to hear that, Ryan. Landon said, a question of the week. Mine is either the Lightning to HDMI adapter or the A10 Mini Pro video switcher. Okay, we got an ATEM fan here. All right. I was really waffling back and forth between getting an ATEM. Even DJ knows this. I was like, DJ, what do you think? I was either gonna get an ATEM Mini Pro or the DJI FPV, and I was really going back and forth because the eventual setup that I want would require a ATEM Mini Pro, or even I don't think I'd want I would want an Extreme. I would want an ATEM Mini Extreme, but I don't need 8 inputs. Like that's kind of crazy town for me. But I do have a camera slider, and if I ever get a second B cam or even like a third overhead cam, I would like to have the main camera, a B cam slider, and then a desk cam, and that would work best with an ATEM Mini Pro. And so I was really going back and forth, but at the end of the day, you gotta have a drone. I mean, I just felt so landlocked without a drone. So good on you there, Landon. What's the other one? Lightning to HDMI adapter. I have one of those and I use it on occasion, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite. What do you use that for? I'm curious. Do you have like a monitor that you connect your phone to or your iPad to? How does that become one of the most important pieces of non-Apple consumer tech in your life, Landon? Jay says, but that drone is worth it though. Yeah, definitely 100% worth it. Alsano says, would you consider moving to Texas? The weather is so unpredictable. Sometimes you could almost always take good pictures. Yes, that is true. I've been to Texas many times. I do like it down there. What I would say though is it's kind of a bummer with the new Part 107 rules that they have, I guess 4 years ago, not super new, but you can't just call ATC anymore to get a drone permission. You have to actually file an exception to fly in some airspaces in up to 90 days in advance. And so that can make it pretty difficult to get shots lined up correctly, because if the weather doesn't cooperate for you, you're out like 90 days of waiting. So yeah, I definitely appreciate it here where kind of the weather is mostly the same for a given day, where you can kind of say, oh, this week is probably going to be pretty nice. But yeah, you're right. Texas definitely has some unpredictable weather. Simon said, looks like something from spy movies, or like it'll shoot lasers. Pretty much. All right. I gotta do this for you guys. This is. I know you can't see it, but you'll hear it. I promise. This was probably the scariest thing when I first turned on the FPV. Just listen to its boot up sequence. Like this thing is like pretty intense. Hold on, I need to plug in the battery. Yeah, this thing is like pretty intense. Let's start it up here. Jeez. That thing is so loud. It sounds like it's gonna, like, I don't know, take off or something. It's like, woo. You turn it on the ion drive or something. Oh, and I love this drone. It has a fan in it. It's the first drone I've ever seen with a fan in it. Like, seriously, this drone has to have a fan? That's pretty crazy. But yeah, look at all the lights. This thing just looks like it's ready to do some damage, right? Like, come on, this thing is crazy. Yeah, let's see. This is a chat message. All right, Jay is chatting. I appreciate you participating, Jay. Preferably there'll be a little bit of content in your chats. Please turn the mic down first. Oh, I didn't turn the mic down. Hopefully I didn't deafen everybody. But yeah, definitely is kind of a crazy sound. It sounds a little intimidating. DJ says, sounds like a Transformer. Yeah, it kind of does. I don't really know exactly what a Transformer sounds like because I haven't seen any of the Transformer movies. But yeah, it sounds very aggressive. And there's no speaker on it. That sound is coming from the motors vibrating back and forth. It like vibrates them really fast. Like, like, what is going on? This thing's going to eat me. Thankfully, it hasn't, though. Simon says, cops knock on your door. Please drop your weapon. No, get back! I have a drone! Yeah, that's not a good idea. Landon said, lightning to HDMI is like a magic wand to make my relative's dreams come true, LOL. I can put anything anyone can dream on any display anywhere. That is a good perspective. I like that. That is a good perspective. Now, I have noticed, I have an Apple Lightning to HDMI adapter, and sometimes when I plug it into a TV or a monitor that's kind of older, I won't be able to play Disney Plus or Apple TV content on it because it's like, oh, this is an unencrypted, unverified something or other. I have run into problems with HDMI and Lightning adapters not working for me super well, but I think that's specific for the monitor. But yeah, that's a good point. You can make anything. That is kind of a magic wand. I like that perspective. I have to keep that in mind. Jay says, Citron active? Activate? I don't know what that is. It's probably a movie reference that I don't understand. DJ says, do some damage. Yeah, damage to your wallet. Yeah, I got a really screaming deal on this though. Like $800 plus tax for a pretty much, it was open box pretty much. I think Best Buy would call it open box. So it'd probably been flown once or twice, but it was pretty much new. And like, come on, that's awesome. It did hurt my wallet a little bit, but not as much as it could have. And I have a drone now, so Simon says, you should go after old ladies with that and scare them to death. Please don't do that. Yeah, I will not be doing that. I was pretty sure flying this around my neighborhood that some of the neighbors were gonna get mad at me because even in the U.S., drone operators, you can't fly over 400 feet from the ground level, and so without FAA approval. And so that meant that the max ceiling that I could have was 400 feet. And don't tell anyone, but by the way, once I was testing the shoot up speed, just how like ground to 400 feet, how fast that goes in the performance mode or the whatever the third mode is, the second mode, not the full one. But anyway, it went up so fast, I stopped thrusting upward throttle at 330 feet. And by the time the thing stopped flying upwards, it was going up probably, I don't know, 60, 80 miles an hour, something like that, really fast, going straight up. Just, I was looking at it, it was hovering like a few feet above the ground. I just went, zip, and the thing went, it was like, whoa, where'd it go? And then when I got to 330 feet, I turned off the throttle. I pushed the throttle down, and the thing took till 450 feet to stop going up. So technically I did have a small infraction there, but I as soon as I was like, it was still going up and going up. It was like 380, 390, 400, 410. I'm like, no, stop. I was trying to get it back down. This thing is just way too powerful. So all that to say, I've been a lot more careful now with the vertical thrusts because this thing is a little bit too much performance. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could scare lots of little old ladies. I could actually scare myself. I did run into a tree this morning. If y'all have seen any of Landon's videos, he's famous for like just going through the trees and it looks so smooth. I thought I could do that this morning. I did it just fine, and then I got a little cocky and overconfident, and I did like a 360 turn around two trees, and I was doing just fine on the one tree, but there's another tree that I was coming up on, and the thing beeped at me. Evidently, it has object awareness detection thingy-mabobbers, and so it was like, beep, 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 stop. And so I pushed the emergency, there's like an emergency pause button. You can push it and it instantly just hovers in place. And so I was like, okay, fine. I'm good. There were branches probably like 5 feet away in front of me. I'm like, okay, I didn't crash. Whew, good. And so I slowly hit the reverse button to back out of the situation. And I ran into a branch that was behind me, but it was just fine. It just went, and then it kind of just spun around and then it stabilized. And there isn't even a scratch on this thing. This drone is very durable. Coming from a Mavic Mini, which is like the definition of plastic and flimsy because they're trying to hit the 249 gram limit. That thing is very, very well built. So anyway, let's go ahead and do last chats here for the final comments, questions, and concerns for this week's Ansuini Live, because I do have to get going pretty soon, and we will wrap this up. So any last minute questions? Got about 2 minutes here before we're gonna wrap this up. It's good hanging out with you guys. Appreciate you willing to spend some of your Thursday evening with me every single one of these weeks. It's been fun. Really great to get to know you guys. I think I had a few promises here. I told Mike that I was going to watch Brian Green's interview. Let's see, what else did I promise? I think, Alpha said he was going to DM me something. And, I was going to send some drone footage to Landon. So those are all my things that I promised and other people promised me. So make sure, Alpha, that I get that in my DMs because I am curious. to see how that CNC machine works. All right, that's been the Ansuini live show for this week. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This time next week. Have a good one. Bye, guys.